Welcome to my first long ride video for a couple of years now. It may not be exciting, but if you've ever remembered why you fell in love with something and you've wanted to communicate that with people, that's what I'm going to try and do here, because that really is the story of this whole video. If you've watched my every climb in the Conway Valley, in the East Conway Valley video, I think you'll remember this view, because it's basically what I looked at all day. Bit of haze today, but still, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you more about what I'm doing today later. I think I'm being a tease when I say stuff like that, but I've already spoiled it on the voiceover before I do the little shot. Like, I should know better. Lovely little descent here coming into Llandudno Junction. You can see out across the Conway estuary. It's an incredible view, and as always my camera's mounted too low to show it, and I'm too lazy, too quick to stop, unfortunately, so you never get to see it. Here we go, first stop already. Seems early because I've only just started filming stuff, but I am like 100k into this ride. That's a bit of a ludicrous claim, 80k maybe. I don't know if I've ever adequately shown off Conway Castle. It's a beautiful town. The castle is amazing, dominates the landscape. It's kind of touristy but authentic at the same time, but it's just so worth a visit. Look at this suspension bridge. I hope you're thinking, wow, this is a great suspension bridge. I hope you show us at least 4 different shots of this suspension bridge, Nick, because if you're not thinking that, I suggest you probably use the skip button. Oh, look at that bridge. Are you thinking, does that bridge mount straight to the side of the castle? You bet it does. How good is that? Absolutely phenomenal. You can't really hear, but I'm chatting to this Sychnant guy. Very nice fella. I was just in such a good mood. I just wanted to chat to everyone, and he suggested I may have missed something. It wasn't just an excuse to go back over the bridge, but it was slightly just an excuse to go back over the bridge, if I'm honest. Oh, look at it. It looks the same as in the last shot, but I'm not editing them out. Look at this place. I'm in Conway. So this suspension bridge, I thought it was Telford, but I've just had a really nice chat with a fella from Sychnant who thinks it wasn't Telford who made it, and if you're thinking, my god Nick, you found a kindred spirit, a man on a bike who's boring as anything about bridges, tell me about it, it was great. He told me to come back for this, and I'm glad I did. Above the toll house here, you can see this little sign. Tolls payable in respect of bridge, and it's all in like old money. Your shillings and whatever a D is, pennies, all that sort of thing. What a morning. So I've just stopped at a place called We Cycle. It's an amazing bike shop around here. I'm not just saying that, it's genuinely one of the best bike shops I've walked into in terms of range of stuff. There's a cafe, there's a load of selection. But they filled my bottle. They assumed I just wanted my bottle filling. I wasn't going to buy anything. I don't do that. I always buy something if I stop somewhere. So I bought a coffee, and we got chatting, and they said, oh, you come over from Wirral? And guy sitting down said, what's your name? I said, Nick, and he said, oh, I know who you are, mate. And that has never happened to me before in any capacity. And I said, why is that? And he said, oh, I remember your Conway Valley ride, and I commented on your ride the other week. It turns out he's Average Man on Strava. Still don't know his name, but Average Man. And then they said, oh, your coffee's on us, have a nice morning. Which, well, if they wanted a customer for life, they've got one. Everyone go to We Cycle in Llandudno Junction. I've just been giggling. I'm just absolutely overwhelmed by this ride already. I know I'm only 90k in, but it's just a beautiful morning, a beautiful location. Look at this place. That coffee shop, that bike shop, treating me like that. I've missed this. I've been grumpy at work for ages and I haven't made time to do stuff like this, and I've missed it. So yeah, off I go. Let's see if I'm still giddy in another 150k. Spoiler, I was not that giddy in 150k. I had a great time though, all ride. There's no spoilers to give away there. I loved this ride. Actually, that interaction at WeCycle made me realise that that's the sort of bike shop that I trust with my bike, and although this is quite far from my house, I have a weird relationship with the bike shops on Wirral. I don't like most of them. They're okay, but I don't really trust most of them, and my bike is getting old now, so I've booked it in at WeCycle for a full strip down. I think £250 for stripping down every bearing, checking it, cleaning it, re-greasing it, etc. Is a pretty good deal, and I just thought, if they're the sort of people that take that much of an interest just in what goes on Strava and what local cyclists are doing and stuff, they're the sort of people who care about bikes. They're the sort of people that I trust with my bike. It was nothing to do with the free coffee, it wasn't, although that made me smile. That's not why I thought they're the people I want to work on this. There's me waffling again. This is Sychnant Pass. Now, I love this pass. I've only cycled it a couple of times because it's a bit of an awkward distance from home, where you sort of have to do it on quite a big ride, and it's not that remarkable a pass. It's just really nice and pretty. Coming from the Conway side over, it's a bit less remarkable, but it does get really nice. For being such a low pass, I think I said this in another video, it feels quite like a high mountain pass, which is kind of cool. And I explained it was an old basically mail coach road built by Victorians, so you didn't have to go around the tidal beach. The problem with it is it spits you out on the far side of, into Eryri, and there's sort of no way back, which is awkward unless you go around the mountains or along the A55 cycle path, which doesn't really appeal to me. But it's very cool. It feels weirdly atmospheric. I don't know why on earth there's these walls built on the road at the top of the hill here, but it is cool. And at this point I was still just loving it. I was still worried about this knock-in noise from my bike. I think I've narrowed it down to thinking it's the headset, and I'm just ignoring it for now, because as I say, next month, bike's getting stripped down at WeCycle. If it turns out there's a massive crack, I'll get it fixed. Coming over here and emerging into this side, you see why I say it feels like a high mountain pass, despite being like 100 metres high. It's not high at all, but it looks so cool. Lovely little descent. It's a very quiet road, because apart from walkers who come to the top, there's no reason for traffic to be going over it. There's a whole, what's really a motorway just to the right of this shot, so there's no reason for it to carry lots of traffic. I was doing this ride just on a random Wednesday morning, or Wednesday, flexed a day of work. I said I've been grumpy at work, and I think I won't get too heavy with it, but I'm in a weird place in my career where I'm in a bit in the middle transition phase, and I don't ever feel like I'm doing a particularly good job whilst also having loads to do. So I'd had a lot on my plate, and I had a week of doing solid state NMR, which is what I did my PhD in, but it's really intense. And then I was straight back into my normal job, and in my PhD you'd do a week on the spectrometer, and then you'd take a month of just sort of progressively analysing data, and I just didn't have that. I was just thrown straight into get back on with all your normal stuff, and I was just feeling stressed. And my boss is such a great guy. He was just like, Nick, you can't go about the next 30 years of your career letting yourself get stressed like that. You've got to carve out some time for yourself. You've got to make your work life sustainable. So I said, all right, I'm not coming in tomorrow. And he was like, good call, go for a bike ride. So here I am. I love my job. I love the people I work with. And I'm glad I took this time to chill. As you can see, there's problems with cycling in North Welsh lanes. There's this car that just totally blocked me, and I managed to get past it. I thought this was actually a cycle path, but it's not. It's just about a lane, and it gets steep. I haven't bothered putting the gradients on here, but this whole bit, this was a cool long climb that I didn't know about at all. Views on views on views over the sea, like out to the Irish Sea. Glorious, not a cloud in the sky sort of weather, and steep gradients. This is what I cycle for. It's too far from home for me to normally do stuff like this, and it's just magnificent to take a whole day to focus on it and to come out and enjoy it. And I can see over to Anglesey at this point, which is Ynys Môn, I should say. Ynys Môn, to give it its Welsh name,
which is a place that I'd never really gone to because it's just an awkwardly far distance from home, but it was awesome to see out here. Probably if I was going to put this much awkward climbing footage in, I should have put some statistics on for you, but I hope you can see how jerky I am because this is enormously steep, well over 20%, 25 maybe.
It's alright here, you know. I don't know what that castle is. It's not Beaumaris, it's the wrong side of the strait. I think I'm before Bangor anyway. Anyway, that's Anglesey. This is my bike slowly falling into a bush. Oh no! Still having a lovely morning. There's a beautiful red kite up there. Likelihood of me getting it in shot? Very, very low. Beautiful bird though. Just having a nice day.
Didn't know this bit of road at all, just tore down it, and this is when I start getting into the area that I would tell you I don't really like cycling. Despite being really just airy, it's pretty flat. The roads are built in the big wide valleys, and it's a little bit more industrial, it's a bit more main roady, but look at this.
Look, I really need to stop stopping. But look, this is a cycle path. This is completely segregated cycle path. I got no idea where I'm going. I didn't even mean to plot this. I didn't look at this bit particularly. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of a mountain. But look at it. It's like a cascading river. Completely segregated cycle path. Just, well, I'll follow it and see where I end up, but what a spectacle.
I wish I'd mentioned that this was a completely segregated cycle path. This was a great bridge over the river, and at this point I was being too Nick Brownbill to let myself stop and take it in. Got to go, can't stop myself. Great going through this tunnel. It was eerie, it was sort of cold and long and dark. Tunnels are a little bit creepy when you're a cyclist on your own, I think, but it was very nice. And this whole cut through, I assume it's an old railway line, I might be wrong. But it was really just like magnificent to ride. I had a great time. Drops you out in this park and then back on my route.
So I'm here to do a famous climb. Marshall in Mauer. Starts just behind me. I think what makes it unique is it goes to almost 600 metres from almost sea level. There's gates and stuff, it's going to be hard, but I've never done it, so here we go. It's unbelievable up here, isn't it? It's really, I don't know, I don't want to sound like a wanker. It's a bit spiritual, it's a bit, I don't know, it gives me a bit of perspective. We are small, nature is big, Wales is beautiful. This is what I needed. The climb doesn't really suit me, but who gives a shit? Yeah, who gives a shit? It was just wonderful to get up here, so it doesn't really matter if it's not my sort of hill climb. It was glorious nonetheless. As I've said, need to stop faffing about and get on the road, so yeah, I'll stop filming again.
Unfortunately, this is where I start messing up. I filmed that descent and you could see Ireland out over the Irish Sea, which I think is amazing. I have never seen the Irish mountains from Wales before. It was awesome. Didn't film any of it. Then I've taken this cycle path which leads into Llanberis, or alongside the lake and around Llanberis. Lovely. It goes through a tunnel, and the transition from light to dark was so quick that I felt like I was instantly blind in the tunnel, doing 20 miles an hour, and there's pedestrians around, so I like emergency stopped just because for fear of hitting someone. And I really would have hit someone if I hadn't emergency stopped, so that was a panic. Glad I thought about that when I went through. And I just passed through Llanberis. I've said it's sort of, you know, it's proper touristy North Wales. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a lovely place. It's well worth a visit, but it's just not what I was out for on this occasion. Now, this is a climb that people who don't know cycling in North Wales will think of as like, oh, that's the big climb. It goes up to Penna Pass, which is like the highest point towards the top of Snowdon that you can get to by road. Urwithva, I should say, Snowdon. There's a youth hostel at the top and a big car park and stuff. It's where you'd set off if you want to walk. I guess probably some of the easier routes. I'm not a hiker, so I'm not certain that that's the case. The climb is not that remarkable, and I wasn't going for any particular big effort on this occasion. It certainly doesn't suit me. It's very long and very gradual, and not loads of elevation. But more than anything else, it is just so goddamn busy. I know there's not loads of cars in the road, but there's cars parked here. It's fine. I never felt at risk, actually. All of the drivers were really respectful. But just remember that this is like 11 a.m. on a random Wednesday, not in school season or anything. So for me, this feels busy. I appreciate, compared to, I don't know what, cycling up the main route up the volcano in Gran Canaria, this is a delight. There's barely any cars around. And for all I say I prefer other areas, the landscape here is absolutely awe-inspiring. If you look at everything around, it's so imposing. It's phenomenally beautiful. The view down the valley, whatever geological features carved this out, must have been magnificent. And even as I went up this thinking I didn't really want to ride this busy road, I just couldn't help but have a smile on my face as you see the road snake out in front of you, knowing where it's going and knowing still that I am only about halfway round this ride. I must have been 120, 130k in. And here's where I owe you an apology. I do not know how to pace my camera recordings for long rides like this, so this is going to come to an abrupt end at my lunch stop, which is just past halfway in this ride. But you've seen all of the riding home that I did before many times, so it's not new roads. Have a look at the view down behind Penna Pass, the youth hostel and stuff. I could feel like I was on holiday here. Truly magnificent. And even though I'm saying I'm not showing you stuff that you've seen before, this is the old bridge in Llanrwst. Like 500, 600 years old, maybe. Just beautiful. And I'll end my ride here in Llanrwst. Beautiful place. This lovely cafe here, Cafe Contessa. I do like that place. They were very nice. Everyone in there was speaking Welsh apart from me, so I felt a bit like a prick, but I just loved being immersed in all of it. It was very cool. So this is the ride coming up now. It was 267 kilometers, average power weighted, 240 watts. I'm delighted with that. Thank you for watching my video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.